Okay, we did the producing farmers with myself and Ashley. So we'll do a little 5-minute report. Some of the questions that were asked in our little discussion was, what are the most strength, or is that it? No.
No, I don't answer that.
Okay. Some of the questions that were asked. Question number 1 is, what are the strengths of the program? Current situation, resource, and community. Okay. Think in terms of resources and organizations, people, facilities, and programs that exist. And one of the I guess questions that came up was the number 1 drought in our producing farming. So equipment, okay, barrels, tanks, pipelines. It could be plastic piping, make earth dams to kind of, I guess, harvest the rainwaters, you know. BIA assistance, okay, and other organizations that, like the chapter, to, and then so that's basically what we talked about in our session, and we got some pretty good feedback from Mr. Where did he go? That young man. Okay, there's Mr. Dixon, and where's the old? Oh, there he is, Mr. Interpreter. He's the one with came up with the drought. So, do you guys have any other suggestions for producing farmers?
We'll do our report back when you're done.
Oh, okay. So, but okay. So, but a lot of it reflect back on funding. You know, reduced funding or the resources to getting water tanks, water barrels, pipelines. So, and another thing was fencing that they talked about. And another thing was reducing livestock, as far as range management, I guess you would say, roundups of wild horses, because I know a lot of the horses on the reservations, we got horses that are roaming, that are producing farmers have to deal with also as in terms of drought. Producing farmers, they will haul water to do whatever they could to save their livestock from the drought, and yet we got horses that are coming in, wild horses, and taking all the water, drinking all the water. So the next day they have to, they go back and they would check the water, and it's all gone. And a lot of some of the farmers, like for Mr. Interpreter, he's also watering elk, deers, coyotes, or whatnot. So that's what some of the discussions that we talked about. And again, like I said, wild horses is one of the main big issues. People, when they do roundups of wild horses, and that's when everybody gets involved. They'll say, okay, we did a roundup and we're going to try and reduce some of the wild horses that are roaming. Okay, so now even these wild horses, they're not branded. People come in and they'll say, oh, that's my horse. That black one's my horse too. You can let that go. So okay, everybody has horses now. They have maybe 20 horses. Now the only thing they could do is let these horses go, and they're back out in the wild, eating the forage, drinking the other people, producing farmers' water. So we discussed that. Try to get rangers involved. I know a lot of the producing farmers, they do get rangers or law enforcement involved, but then again, they're just basically there to listen to people's situation and not try to resolve anything, because people would say, "Oh, that's my horse," or they can't haul it in because we have no funding, because it takes time and money for the rangers to come out there, load them up, and haul it across the reservation to the main office, which is in Crown Point, New Mexico. We can't haul it. We got no money. So then again, it's finance problem again. So actually, we're caught in the bureaucratic sea again. And going on to the next question, okay, what resources can you use to help elders? So we tried to talk with the youth, but the youth are just sitting there absorbing all the knowledge. I know they have questions, but they were just holding back on us. So, but again, we dealt with coyotes, wild dogs. I mean, they're just as bad as coyotes, but coyote would hunt in one. Okay, doctors' dogs, teachers' dogs, they run in a pack. We get that, and Rosemary mentioned that. And these are dogs that are wild, but yet they belong to doctors, teachers. They have name tags, they have names. So we talked about wild dogs, the issues that that kill sheep. They killed calves. And a lot of these wild dogs, they just kill to kill. They don't try to consume whatever they kill. They'll just kill them. So that's another issue that came up. And again, we can't really do anything about it because the Navajo Nation has adopted this law for animal rights. So we even have to have a permit to shoot a crow. We have to have a permit to hunt small game, coyote. So that's some of the issues that came up. The only way we could probably, unless a dog comes into your yard and actually attacks your livestock, like say you have a little calf or lamb in your yard that you're tending to because the mother didn't want it, it's an orphan, and the dog comes in and kills it. Now you have a right to go in there and kill this animal, this dog, wild dog that has a name. So that's another thing, that rounding up wild dogs and hauling them off. So then again, we call rangers, and then we call law enforcement. They can't really do much about it because this dog has a name. So again, I think it's all communication with the community to tie up their dogs, keep them chained up. So that's one of the issues that came up. And the third question, what was the third question? Okay, how can we come together to make this situation a little better? Again, we talked about our tribal officials. I hope one of you guys aren't voted in as a president, but again, it's communication and education that we talked about. A lot of our grazing officials, they're not really knowledgeable about what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know if they read their job descriptions, but they're kind of staying back in the old days. 1, 2, 3. This is how many sheep you're supposed to have, or he's just there to brand, or some places where the people brand, they provide food. The livestock owners, they provide food. Maybe they're just there just to go eat. I don't know. But again, I stress to the younger generation there, get involved with your chapters. Go over to your chapters and see what the grazing officials talk about. Because in our area, we got Tuba City, Coal Mine, Cameron, and Gap. 4 chapters, and they all meet in different chapters all at the same time. And still yet, they can't come to a solution to where how to range manage the people's livestock. So, and that's their job, to do a count, to have them do maybe a work plan or range management plan. So again, it came back down to the communication and education of our leaders. That came up. How can we make it better? So again, livestock importance. It's the Navajos. Our lives are sheep, cattle, and horses. So I guess the best thing to do is get the youth involved again. And everything that we talked about in there is trying to get the youth involved to participate in these type of workshops, these conferences, even the chapter meetings, or even the grazing official meetings, and let them learn. We need to influence them to, become our leaders.
So one thing that's just kind of, I would like to have I question everyone about is, everyone needs to get involved, and we were thinking, workshops seem to be somewhat working well, but I was just wondering what would, possibly Dine, what would we need to do as to make workshops more appealing, or just to get the word out there? And the internet is pretty awesome and stuff, but not everyone has email address and everything. So one question I want to throw out there is, what could we do to make workshops, make you want to come to workshops? And also, if we were to have workshops, how would we do it so that the officials could come too? That's just a question I want to throw out there. Feel free to answer all day if you want. Just how to make workshops more appealing. Some people have said flyers or food, door prizes. Those are all awesome. Unfortunately, not a lot of organizations have money to do things like that. But just what would what would appeal to you to say, oh, I want to come to that workshop and stuff like that. So that's all.